Tonight, scattered storms impacting the Houston area today were felt throughout, and our Khalil Ray has your full forecast for what is more to come in a matter of moments.
And as school is now in session, we're learning more about the new cell phone ban put in place on the first day of school throughout Texas school districts. How just an alert or ring can lead to your phone taken with fees you may not know about.
And finally, Democrats continue to boycott special legislative sessions. KPRC 2 News at 6:30 starts now.
Over the past couple of weeks, Texas Congress has been in conflict over a controversial redistricting bill. I had the opportunity to talk to one of the Texas Democrats who's currently out of the state. He believes Democrats' fight is far from over. As Texas's redistricting battle continues to heat up, tensions rise. Governor Greg Abbott called a second special session this past Friday in an attempt to pass his controversial redistricting bill. Many Democrats have fled the state in protest of this bill and refuse to come back until it is no longer in the legislative agenda. I spoke with District 27 Representative Ron Reynolds about the redistricting bill and the effect it will have on Texas voters.
It specifically targets African American and Latino communities and what we call packing and cracking. That means we're putting many of them in one area and then we're breaking the other ones up into different areas so that they dilute their voting strength and the ability to elect a candidate of their choice.
Political science professor Dr. Mark Jones shed some light on the historical precedents of the situation and how he believes it will develop going forward. What is the definition of gerrymandering and how does this term play into the situation at hand?
Gerrymandering is whenever you draw the districts to obtain some type of goal. Partisan gerrymandering is when you draw the districts with the goal of benefiting one party and hurting another party. Many of the Democrats who are seeking refuge in liberal states like Illinois and New York are critical that Governor Greg Abbott is prioritizing this redistricting bill over legislation to provide flood relief.
Why wouldn't Governor Abbott, when there's such a crisis where you had over 130 Texans, many of them were children, precious little girls that died? Why would you not prioritize this when you had the ability to do it?
Additionally, many Democrats are upset that the redistricting bill was proposed 5 years early, a violation of tradition.
This is a good example of a norm that used to guide politics in the United States being broken, and that is that you engaged in redistricting only once every 10 years, not whenever you felt you could gain a partisan advantage from doing so.
The future remains uncertain as Texas Democrats and Republicans continue to have conflicting agendas. To read more about this ongoing situation, visit clicktohouston.com. Reporting in Houston, this is Vivian Phillips, KPRC 2 News. We've seen scattered showers throughout the day, but are there more chances of rain ahead? Meteorologist Khalil Ray will have the latest update on the forecast.
And also coming up, Houston is using wastewater to track viruses before they spread, and families can now get real-time alerts to help protect kids and prevent outbreaks.
Also, a Houstonian expert sheds light on the conflict in the Middle East with Israel and Palestine. Kids are back to school, and that often means germs, sniffles, and missed days. But Houston, we have good news for you. You can get an early head start on right on your phones with what sickness is flowing around your neighborhood.
That's absolutely right, Vivian. And more importantly, KPRC2's Victoria Harrison explains how Houston's underground health network is helping families prepare, protect, and prevent outbreaks.
We really isolated ourselves, but you can't live in a bubble. And so it's important for us to know what's out there.
For Ebony London, every school day starts with more than just packing a backpack. It means preparing to protect her 5-year-old son, RJ, a 2-time cancer survivor still undergoing chemo.
Naturally, we have to do things to take super precaution while still living a normal life.
Everything we flush or wash down the drain contributes to our wastewater, and it ends up here, where the city of Houston is turning that water into data that can detect viruses in your community, which could give families a crucial early warning.
We excrete so much stuff into our wastewater. All of these diseases that are circulating, things, chemicals that we ingest, chemicals that we're exposed to, we can look at our wastewater to get a profile of kind of what's going on in our communities.
For the last 5 years, the city of Houston has partnered with Rice University to build one of the nation's most advanced water waste monitoring systems, with more than 100 sites across the city testing for different pathogen targets. Small samplers are installed in manholes and pipes at specific locations, and they're collecting wastewater samples every 15 minutes.
A person from the city will go and physically grab those from these, what we call auto samplers, and they keep them cold in the field, and then they bring them back to our lab where we test them. It allows us to tell what the dynamics of different diseases are in our communities.
And parents, listen to this. At schools, detections can be shared directly with families through an alert system.
For schools, we do routine monitoring for respiratory viruses. So these are things like SARS-CoV-2, flu, and RSV. And when we detect these, we report this back to the school populations through a virus alert system.
More than 9,500 alerts have gone out to families so far, telling them about the most susceptible diseases.
If you had a push notification that there was flu circulating in your school, it might encourage a parent to be like, oh shoot, I got to get that flu shot for my kid to make sure I protect them.
This kind of real-time data is transforming how the city responds, turning invisible threats into actionable steps.
Hospitals use it. The Texas Medical Center watches it. Universities watch it. It helps them prepare for what could come. And if we didn't have it, we really wouldn't know what's out there.
Truly incredible story, Victoria. And mobile alerts aren't the only way you can track viruses. This right here, right on your screen, is the City of Houston's wastewater monitoring dashboard, offering weekly updates on what's flowing beneath your feet.
As countries come forward to recognize Palestine as a state, tensions rise in the Gaza Strip. Last week, I spoke with a Houston expert on this issue and how he thinks things will develop moving forward. Ambassador Satterfield was appointed by President Biden in 2023 to lead U.S. humanitarian efforts in Gaza. Now he serves as the director of Rice University's Baker Institute.
The fundamental difficulty in this frustrating, long, tragic conflict has been that the humanitarian efforts were never conducted at the pace of the military efforts.
Growing concerns have mounted about starvation in the Gaza Strip, as Palestinians do not have adequate access to food and water.
If you bring in hundreds of trucks of assistance every day, within 2 weeks, the self-distribution stops and the criminal looting stops. Why? Because people are reassured they don't have to run and seize off the trucks the assistance. It's going to come tomorrow and the day after and the day after.
The United Nations held a summit this July to discuss a two-state solution in the region in hopes that a ceasefire could be achieved soon. However, experts say that international organizations and diplomacy can only go so far.
We couldn't, with all the best will in the world, substitute for their will. And the UN can't, and other bilateral parties can't either. If they are not resolved, then neither Israelis nor Palestinians will have a realistic chance of enjoying what President Clinton famously, during his tenure as president, described as the quiet miracle of a normal life.
Now to an investigation after a sheriff's deputy shot and killed a man. That man reportedly shot and killed his own son-in-law.
Truly a tragic story, Vivian. And this all stemmed from a child custody dispute just south of the Beltway and Tanglehead Court in Northwest Harris County. We spoke to the family who identified the shooter as 78-year-old Rafael Rodriguez. Rodriguez died at the hospital, and we're told that the man Rodriguez shot is his son-in-law, Franklin Portillo. Rodriguez's daughter, Daisy Jura, says she wants people to know her father was trying to protect his grandchildren.
My dad was the best man in this planet. My dad was an amazing man. And he did what he did because he loved his children. This is horrible. It just happened today. You're never going to wake up feeling or thinking that something like this is going to happen.
Now, Daisy and her husband say they will take custody of the two kids for the time being. The deputy involved in this shooting was placed on administrative leave, and Precinct 4 officials say the deputy was called to the scene for the custody dispute and saw the shooting, prompting him to return fire.
Now, a small North Texas bakery owner is still in shock after what has happened from posting a viral TikTok video of her store.
It's really interesting, Vivian, because Pan Bakery is seeing lines now out their doors since its owner posted this recent video. Tara Rahman has their story.
Things in my Mexican and Japanese fusion bakery and cafe that just make sense.
This is how it started a few days ago.
Pan in Spanish is bread, and then pan in Japanese is also bread. So it's bread, pan.
And this is how it's going. Laura Molinar never expected her TikTok video to go viral.
We have a Japanese toilet with a bidet. We got over 16 million views on that video, which is so awesome.
It's not just the fusion of cultures that's hooked TikTokers.
We offer drinks like horchata matcha.
You don't have to scroll far to figure out it's also her personality.
Concha pillow.
And it didn't take long for the views to translate to reality.
How did you find out about this place?
TikTok. I've only seen like some TikToks about it.
It kind of just blew up. And here we are trying to catch up.
Meet Mama Laura.
Before we would make like one dough every 2 weeks, and now we make 6 or 7 a day.
She and her family have been boosting Molinar way before the algorithm did.
I wash dishes, I make dough, I bake everything.
From pop-up shops in high school to opening these doors.
Let me put it on your tray, girl.
Now on the cusp of 1 year since opening, Mama Laura gets to see the likes and customer counts go up.
I was really crying. And it was, like I said, it was tough at the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. She cried a lot, but she's getting there. She's gonna learn.
Now, while the family is still trying to keep up with these lines at the bakery, the young owner turned TikTok star already has plans for her future.
If it keeps growing, hopefully into more stores, franchising opportunities.
At just 21 years old, she's got some time for that, along with a never-ending boost from her family.
I'm her mom. You know, I'm always going to back her up, no matter what.
That's it for KPRC 2 News at 6:30. And more local news stories are streaming right now on the KPRC 2 Plus live stream.